38%, he's officially entered the death zone. This is what fascism looks like, people.
Retirement, about 5, 10, 12 homes.
Only making things worse. We have a president who throws temper tantrums like a 2-year-old.
The numbers for January 27th just dropped, and I'm telling you, this isn't a dip, it's a total collapse. Trump's approval has cratered to 36%. He's officially entered the death zone. Young voters, gone. Independents, gone. But do you want to know why this is personal? While I see millions of renters who've lost hope of ever owning a single home, I'm watching a Treasury Secretary claim that ordinary people own 12 houses.
That someone, maybe your parents for their retirement, about 5, 10, 12 homes. So
how can you lead a country when you're this blinded by your own bubble? This is an administration in a free fall. Is this the end of the Trump era or just the start of the chaos? Subscribe and tell me your thoughts below, because I'm giving you the truth without the spin. The numbers are in, and they're absolutely catastrophic for Donald Trump. According to the latest Marist poll, Trump's approval rating has plummeted to a pathetic 38%, with a staggering 56% of Americans disapproving of this atrocious administration. That's a net approval of -18, the lowest point of his entire second term. Let me say that again. The country utterly despises him. But wait, it gets worse. A CNN poll shows that only 32% of Americans think Trump is in touch with the problems ordinary people face. 32%. That means more than 2/3 of this country knows that Trump has absolutely no idea what real Americans are going through. He's up there in his golden tower, completely disconnected from reality, while families are struggling to put food on the table. And his approval among independents, 29%. The man has managed to alienate everyone who isn't part of his MAGA cult. Among Latinos and adults under 35, only 30% approved, down from 41% at the start of his term. Young people see right through his pathetic behavior and they want nothing to do with him. Let's talk about the economy, because Trump loves to brag about how great he is for business, right? Well, here's what Americans actually think. 55% say Trump's policies have worsened economic conditions. A majority. And get this, 58% say he's gone too far in using presidential power. This is what fascism looks like, people. This is a president who thinks he's above the law, who throws temper tantrums like a toddler when he doesn't get his way, and who's using the power of the presidency to punish his enemies and enrich his billionaire friends. Speaking of billionaires, let's talk about Trump's cabinet. This administration is the wealthiest in American history, packed with out-of-touch special interest billionaires who are looking out for themselves and their balance sheets, not working families. And here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, one of Trump's billionaire goons, went to Davos and said with a straight face that
someone, maybe your parents for their retirement, about 5, 10, 12 homes. So
12 homes. This multimillionaire, who describes himself as a humble soybean farmer while buying and selling luxury properties worth millions of dollars, thinks the average American retiree owns a dozen houses. Meanwhile, in the real world, 53% of American renters said last year that owning even one home will never be financially affordable. This is the level of disconnect we're dealing with. These people have no idea how ordinary Americans live. They're up there in Davos sipping champagne and talking about their property portfolios while families can't afford groceries. It's obscene, it's disgusting, and it's exactly what this administration represents. If you're finding this valuable, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're breaking down these stories every single day. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think about this disaster. Now, let me tell you what real leadership looks like, because we need to see the contrast here. While Trump and his billionaire cabinet are completely out of touch, Governor Healey of Massachusetts just delivered her State of the Commonwealth address, and she's showing the entire country what it means to actually fight for people. Governor Healey stood up there and said,
And in this moment, part of my job as governor is to help us provide what the federal government isn't: stability, security, and how about a little common sense?
She called out Trump's chaos directly.
We have a president who throws temper tantrums like a 2-year-old. No disrespect to 2-year-olds.
And you know what? She's absolutely right. While the Trump administration abandons vaccine science and puts children at risk, Massachusetts is standing firm. When Trump and RFK Jr. try to roll back childhood vaccine recommendations, Governor Healey said, "We are not going to let Donald Trump or Robert Kennedy take away your ability to make your own health care decisions." Massachusetts will continue to lead with science and protect access to life-saving vaccines. Massachusetts actually signed legislation giving their Department of Public Health authority to set independent vaccine standards.
We've issued our own science-backed and science-based information. So far this year, I signed legislation allowing the Department of Public Health to issue its own vaccine recommendations rooted in science and data.
That's leadership. That's putting people before politics. And housing? While Trump talks a big game about banning Wall Street investors from buying homes, a policy that experts say will have minimal impact since institutional investors only own about 1% to 3.8% of single-family homes, Healey is actually building houses.
That alone is going to have the impact of unlocking 10,000 housing units.
Massachusetts faced a 220,000 unit housing shortage when she took office. She's already started or built 100,000 homes. That's real action, not empty promises. She signed a $5.2 billion borrowing bill for housing affordability, made community college free, delivered a $1 billion tax cut package, and eliminated renter-paid brokers' fees to save renters thousands of dollars. And she did all of this while protecting
And I want you to
abortion
know
rights,
that
defending
this
healthcare
year,
access,
my
and
budget's
making
going to
sure
increase
children don't
funding
go
for
hungry.
local food banks. We're making sure that people on the SNAP program get the benefits that they need. We're not going to let anyone go hungry in Massachusetts. Today, while some turn their backs on liberty, Massachusetts stays free. In the face of efforts to divide us, Massachusetts stands united.
That's the difference, folks. You've got Trump and his billionaire cabinet who think mom and pop own 12 homes, who are completely disconnected from the struggles of ordinary Americans, whose approval ratings are in the toilet because everyone can see through their lies. And then you've got leaders like Governor Healey who are actually solving problems, protecting people, and standing up to this administration's cruelty. Let's talk about Mike Johnson for a second, because this imbecile deserves his own segment. The Speaker of the House, and I use that title loosely because Trump basically told the New York Times, "I'm the Speaker and the President so pathetic that his own party members are going around him constantly." Johnson's got a razor-thin majority of 218 to 213 after the death of Rep. Doug LaMalfa and Marjorie Taylor Greene's exit. He can't lose more than 2 votes on anything. And what's happening? His own Republicans are revolting. 4 centrist Republicans joined Democrats to force a vote on health care subsidies because Johnson refused to act. Rep. Mike Lawler called the situation idiotic and shameful and said this place is disgraceful. Johnson himself admitted he's in survival mode and that his life is a constant triage with an emergency every 10 minutes. Well, boo-hoo. Maybe if you weren't such a spineless puppet for Trump, you'd actually be able to lead. Democrats have started calling him the deputy speaker because everyone knows Trump is actually calling the shots. It's humiliating. It's pathetic, and it perfectly encapsulates the chaos of this entire administration. This is what we're dealing with. An administration so unpopular that nearly 60% of the country disapproves. A cabinet so wealthy and out of touch they think retirees own a dozen homes. A speaker so weak his own party ignores him. And a president whose policies are making the economy worse while he's focused on the wrong priorities. But here's the good news. People see it. The polls show it. Americans know this administration is a disaster. They know Trump doesn't care about them. They know these billionaires are robbing them blind while giving themselves tax cuts. And in states like Massachusetts, they're seeing what real leadership looks like. Leaders who stand up to fascism, who protect science and healthcare, who actually build affordable housing instead of just talking about it. This is why the 2026 midterms matter so much, This is why every single vote counts, because we need to stop this madness. We need to check this power-hungry president who thinks he's above the law. We need to replace these pathetic enablers like Mike Johnson with people who will actually stand up for the American people. Make sure you like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment. Your engagement helps us reach more people who need to see the truth. We'll keep covering every development as it happens. Thanks for watching.